how did you start in the art world? How was that path? Were you very young when you got interested in art, or in your teenage years? How was it?
So I actually did an art foundation when I left school, but I went to study art history at university, and I had a pretty meandering twenties, to be honest. And I trained as a bespoke tailor
Mm.
for 2 years. I trained as a lawyer. Um, so I have a lot of respect for traditional craft, and I think one of the interesting things about Web3 or digital developments recently is a respect for the skill and the craft involved in creative coding, in digital production, rather than a sort of perhaps a more traditional repertoire of sort of fine art. So I was a kind of craftsman myself for a little while, then a lawyer, and then I taught art history for many years. And I took a break from teaching, and I went and edited it in Milan for a magazine called Flash Art, which I have a long-standing relationship with. And I started a column there called The Uncanny Valley, which was really trying to, I guess, fill a space between what you might consider to be the kind of critical approach that a lot of contemporary artists adopt, and new developments in sort of AI, AR, and ultimately crypto and NFTs. And so, in a sense, the Uncanny Valley at Flash Art was a kind of, I guess, a test case for right-click save. And it was when
Yeah.
I was working at Flash Art that I met Jason and I met Casey Reese, and I commissioned them to do a sort of a roundtable conversation about the ecological cost of crypto, and that
Mm.
was just after Memo Action had written his great sort of study of sort of the problems involved in the environmental cost of crypto and so on. So that's how I met Jason. That's how I met Casey, um, and from then on, I suppose my interest has always been looking at new developments in Web3, blockchain, NFTs, smart contracts with a critical lens. And I think there's a balance, I guess, we try and preserve, which is um, criticality without cynicism, I guess you could say. And I think we're not evangelical about Web3 technologies, but we also feel that the NFT has brought has created a space for a more inclusive model. And of course, it's hard to preserve that model in a down market, but hopefully that gives you some sort of flavor of where I come from, and perhaps why Jason and I have developed this sort of long-standing position that we should be celebrating a more inclusive vision of digital art, because ultimately that's what the NFT unlocked. It was the potential, not necessarily the reality, but the potential for um, a vastly expanded community or sets of communities of digital
Hmm.
creators, and that's something that we try and preserve, and not always successfully. But I think, yes, from my perspective, it's probably worth sort of saying at the outset that I see that there are tendencies towards inclusivity, but particularly in a down market, there are lots of tendencies towards exclusivity as well. And I see that community can be a tool for inclusion, but it can actually also be a tool for building walls and actually excluding.
Hmm.
And of course, a market, and I think it's fair to say that the Web3 space um, has sort of established names now. But I think if we ignore the potential for a more horizontal and more affordable art world where emerging talent can kind of build careers, then in a sense we're losing track of the good things about Web3.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. So you had kind of a first a column on Flash Art to discuss the kind of a test, right, to discuss what's happening in blockchain art, digital art. Um, and that led up to Right Click Save, which is one of the most popular publications. And I had the discussion with Jason, and for anybody that's listening, it's I believe podcast number 10, and exciting discussion. You could really see the passion from Jason, and he was very vocal about be kind of a contrarian, right? So for him, it's very important to look for new things, look for things that not necessarily people are talking about. And I feel like that's one of the aspects, or one of the main drivers of Right Click Save,